Welcome to The Explainer. So today we are unpacking some incredibly fascinating recent analyses that, well, they basically uncover a biological glitch in human metabolism. If you're completely exhausted from grueling, miserable workouts, you are definitely going to want to hear what the data actually says about swapping out all that cardio suffering for a highly strategic walking routine.
Let's kick things off with a number, 600. That represents the calories in a single standard double chocolate cookie. Just think about that for a second. To burn that off through your typical high-intensity cardio, you'd have to run at full speed for like 55 minutes. Literally 55 minutes of total misery, sweating buckets, gasping for air, just to neutralize one single snack. The math there simply doesn't work in our favor, does it?
And that brilliantly illustrates our core premise for today. You cannot outrun your diet, but you can absolutely outsmart your metabolism. You see, most people think fitness is this massive suffering contest, right? They think if they aren't totally dying on a treadmill, they aren't losing weight. But we're going to dive into the science of why working smarter instead of harder is the actual key to unlocking and melting away that stubborn belly fat. Okay, let's dive right into this. We've got 5 focused steps to cover today. The great cardio myth, the biology of belly fat, the post-meal insulin hack, mastering meat and incline, and finally, your actionable 12-week fat loss roadmap. Let's flip the script on stubborn fat. Part 1. The great cardio myth. Why sweating buckets keeps you stuck. So look at the stark contrast in how our bodies react to different types of physical stress. High-intensity interval training, or HIIT, creates this massive energy deficit that basically makes your body panic. It spikes cortisol, which is your stress hormone, and ghrelin, your hunger hormone. And what happens next? The compensatory effect. You burn 350 calories suffering at the gym, but you get so ravenous that you end up eating a 400-calorie bagel later on. You literally put yourself in a caloric surplus. Now, Zone 2 walking, on the other hand, is completely autoregulated. It actually lowers cortisol, preserves your energy, and keeps your appetite totally stable. Moving on to Part 2, the biology of belly fat. Why your face gets skinny, but the belly stays. Have you ever actually wondered about this? I mean, why is it that you can diet for weeks, your face looks completely gaunt, your arms get super lean, but that tire around your waist absolutely refuses to budge? Well, Dr. Claude Bouchard made a fascinating discovery about this back in 1997, and spoiler alert, it is not because you're lazy. It's actually a deeply ingrained biological, evolutionary defense mechanism designed to protect your vital organs from starvation. Here's exactly how that defense mechanism works. Your fat cells have receptors, which act basically like tiny light switches. Beta receptors are the green lights. When adrenaline hits them, they release fat to be burned for energy. And you have tons of these green lights in your arms and face. But alpha receptors, those are the red lights. When stress hormones hit these, they lock the doors and hold onto the fat for dear life. And wouldn't you know it, your belly is packed with these red light alpha receptors. So when you do intense cardio and flood your body with the stress hormone cortisol, you are chemically signaling your belly fat to lock down like a high-security vault. Crazy, right? I absolutely love this analogy for understanding it. Imagine your body has 2 different fuel tanks. Tank A is rocket fuel. That's your glycogen or the stored sugar from the sandwich you just ate for lunch. Tank B, on the other hand, is a massive oil tanker. That's your stored body fat. Sprinting burns Tank A because your body desperately needs fast, hot fuel right in that moment. But walking taps directly into Tank B. It literally turns you into an oxidation machine that runs on pure, stubborn fat without ever triggering those red light alpha receptors we just talked about. So the absolutely crucial point here is staying in what we call Zone 2. That's about 65 to 75% of your maximum heart rate. And you know you're in the sweet spot if you pass the talk test. Basically, you can speak in full sentences, but you're just a little too breathy to sing a song. For most folks over 40, this is a brisk 3 to 4 mile per hour walk. And the math behind this is just staggering. Walking an hour a day in this specific zone burns around 31 pounds of pure fat over a single year. Section 3. The post-meal insulin hack, also known as the postprandial trigger. I really want you to let this quote sink in for a second. Insulin is a massive padlock on your fat stores. High insulin completely shuts down fat loss, period. When you eat, your blood sugar rises, and insulin is released to store all that new energy. If you just go sit on the couch like a potato after a big meal, your blood sugar spikes like a roller coaster. Insulin floods your system, and it immediately adds a fresh layer of fluff right to your waistline. But okay, Here is the biological glitch. Step 1, you eat your meal. Step 2, you go for a walk for just 10 minutes immediately after. Step 3, you just watch the magic happen. Your contracting leg muscles actually soak up the glucose floating around in your blood for energy, which heavily blunts that insulin response. Studies actually show us that 3 10-minute post-meal walks lower blood sugar way more effectively than a single 30-minute session at the gym. It rapidly switches your body right back into burn mode.
All right, section 4, mastering NEAT and incline. These are basically the cheat codes for vertical fat loss. You know, the difference between naturally skinny people and overweight people often has literally nothing to do with the gym at all. It actually comes down to NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's a mouthful, but it's just your daily baseline movement, living, standing, fidgeting, pacing. It is the absolute secret sauce for that shredded look. Just increasing your daily NEAT by 2,000 steps burns an extra 10 pounds of fat per year. So let's look at how you can get those extra steps totally for free with 3 lazy hacks. First up, the parking lot rule. Stop circling the lot like a shark looking for the closest spot. Just park way at the back and easily grab an extra 400 steps. Second, the phone pacer. Make a rule to never sit while you're on the phone. Pace around like a movie villain plotting a scheme. You'll easily hit 1,000 steps in just 10 minutes doing that. And third, kill the elevator. Taking the stairs burns 3 times more calories than walking on flat ground. Do these 3 things, and you're going to hit 8,000 to 10,000 steps purely by accident. And for those of you who want even faster results, let me introduce you to the king of the mountain, the incline cheat code. Walking on a 5% grade increases your calorie burn by 50%. Bumping that up to a 10% grade, that literally doubles your output. You might have seen that viral 12-3-30 trend going around TikTok recently, and it works so well because it demands a massive metabolic output while still keeping you safe from those nasty cortisol spikes. But listen, here is my massive, absolutely crucial warning. Do not hold the handrails on the treadmill. The exact moment you lean back and grab those rails, you offload your body weight and completely ruin the metabolic multiplier effect. You gotta let those arms swing naturally. Okay, final section. Section 5, the 12-week fat loss roadmap. Let's go from spectator to movement machine. Now, before we lay out the timeline, we really need a heavy reality check here. You cannot outwalk the fork. You just can't walk off a mountain of greasy pizza. Think about it. A modest 500-calorie Frappuccino takes an hour and a half of walking to burn off. And let's be real, you probably drank it in 5 minutes, right? So think of your diet as the engine of a car and your walking routine as the turbocharger. To actually make that engine run, you must maintain a solid daily caloric deficit of about 300 to 500 calories below your maintenance level. Fat loss is a package deal. You are the CEO of your own body. Your diet creates the overall weight loss, but your walking, that amplifies it, and it ensures that the weight you're dropping is pure, stubborn belly fat, not muscle. So here is your progressive timeline. Weeks 1 to 4 is what we call the warm-up. Don't go crazy here. Just find your current baseline, add 2,000 steps, and really cement those 3 10-minute post-meal walks we talked about. Then, weeks 5 to 8 is the stack. This is where you aim for a strict minimum of 8,000 daily steps using our lazy NEAT hacks. No excuses on this one. Finally, weeks 9 to 12 is the shred. By now, you are a full-on movement machine, crushing 10,000 to 12,000 steps a day and throwing in 2 of those incline sessions a week. This roadmap builds a sustainable biological transformation without the dreaded burnout. Which brings us right to our final thought for today. Are you ready to actually trigger this biological glitch? I want to challenge you right now to stop scrolling, stand up, and just commit to 7 days of this protocol. Try adding those 3 10-minute post-meal walks and just watch your daytime energy skyrocket while that stubborn bloating literally vanishes. It really is that simple. Try it out for a week, see the proof for yourself, and remember, walking is only half the battle. Your diet is the engine that drives this whole process. We're actually going to be tackling that exact nutritional deep dive in our very next explainer. Until then, get up, get moving, and trigger that glitch.